quick story. This is just breaking. Creepy porn lawyer Michael Avenatti has been arrested on federal charges of wire fraud and extortion. And here goes CBS. They're going to go along with the story, also try and break the story, and then have to begrudgingly admit to Michael Avenatti, who is a very off-putting person. Why this man is still able to capture national news is beyond me. But here we go.
Analyst Ricky Kleeman joins me now to discuss. Boy, Ricky, there's a lot to unpack here. We have the indictment. You know, it seems one of the reporters asked a very interesting question. What's the difference between extortion and simply trying to extract a monetary payment for your client who may have been wronged?
Now, that's very simple. It's a lot about how you proceed and the way in which you go after information. With everything we've seen out of Michael Avenatti, he is very much on the edge of being extremely public, very deceitful about what he's doing. All the stuff with Stormy Daniels and Trump over the last year and a half was just horrific to see that play out in the media. However, that was the story of the day, so that's what we got to watch, and it was retarded.
And is this a clear case of extortion from what you've seen?
Well, certainly the U.S. Attorney and the special agent in charge of the FBI believe it is a clear case of extortion. There also is a clear defense, which is right where the questioner was at the press conference, which is if a client is zealously represented by a lawyer, which is a lawyer's duty to zealously represent a client, isn't it appropriate to play hardball in terms of negotiations for a settlement? So the defense is going to be, I haven't done anything or said anything that any other lawyer wouldn't say under the same circumstances in order to get the best possible settlement for my client, and that in no way is this extortion. The problem in that defense is what is laid out in the indictment, which is that it appears that although Michael Avenatti certainly had a right to try to settle the case on behalf of a client, that's what lawyers do, but he certainly didn't have a right to be looking for money for himself.
So it took her a minute and a half to say, as a lawyer, he should have added his fees to his client's money settlement. However, Michael Avenatti did not do that. He tried to get a settlement for his client and a settlement for his fees.
And that is what the gravamen, as we would say, the essence of the complaint, yes, which winds up as an indictment in this case. You have to remember, too, the Southern District of New York, they're pretty prudent. They
are just another group, and right now they held off on pursuing charges against Trump, hoping that the Mueller probe would unseat Trump, and now they're moving forward to proceed to go after Trump because the Mueller probe failed. The political lifespan of these districts, of these groups, are extremely motivated. They wouldn't probably pursue anything on Michael Avenatti, except his Stormy Daniels case has fallen. He's been caught up in a lot of other recent scandals, and here's another one, so they're going to have to finally do something against someone they helped push into the public eye 2 years ago, over the last 2 years. So now they have to do something.
Don't go forward just at the drop of a hat. They think about these things.
And to your point, according to prosecutors, he asked for $1.5 million to be paid to his client.
Correct.
$1.5 million for his client who is suing Nike. And wait for it.
And he asked for over $20 million for himself. So that's quite a discrepancy there.
Well, it's bizarre.
So he sued, and instead of charging his fees, which the only time I've ever had a lawyer in a case or heard about lawyers in a settlement case, I believe it was 40 to 50% of the money if the lawyer did it without being paid, and if they were being paid, they just charged whatever their rates were. So if it had been $1.5 million settlement, Avenatti would have gotten anywhere from $500 to $750,000. However, on a $1.5 million settlement, he wanted $20 million in legal fees for himself. I'm assuming that is because he's had so much other issues. But there you go. A quick take on Michael Avenatti trying to extort money from Nike through legal means. And, Southern District of New York is going to have to move forward and actually pursue someone that more or less has been making the rounds over the last year and a half on TV, going after the president. And now, unfortunately, he's just as corrupt as anyone else. I believe we're all starting to see how a lot of this pundit class and these people are not what they appear to be, and you shouldn't trust what they're going to say.
I mean, if that is in fact how it happened, because if you're asking for $25 million, isn't that because you believe your client somehow deserves that? But it sounds like, and certainly what the prosecutor and the head of the FBI in New York made it sound like, it sounded like this was really a, you pay me this money.
Right.
And we can call it a retainer or call it a settlement, which really makes me queasy that any lawyer would ever say anything like that. And then, oh yeah, my client, 1.5, he'll be fine.
And it's amazing this.
Now, the Nikki there, she actually has real kudos. She actually has serious legal stuff. She attended law school at Boston University until 1975. She worked for the U.S. District Judge, Walter J. Skinner. She worked district attorney for Middlesex County District Attorney's Office. She joined Boston, Massachusetts law firm Friedman Atherton. Owned private practice since '83. She was 83. She was named one of the 5 best female attorneys in the U.S. She taught at Columbia Law from '96 to 2003. So this lady has some legal chops out there. She's not the typical pundit you see on TV that has no idea, never been on a case, never done anything anywhere. She's actually been out there. So there you go. Michael Avenatti allegedly trying to extort $20 million from Nike while getting his client a $1.5 million settlement. I think we can all agree that Michael Avenatti should no longer be considered part of the mainstream conscious and just let him drift back into the seedy lawyer world, which there's a lot of them out there. But I think he should just go back to that, and I don't really see him being reasonably portrayed in any type of mainstream media. So thank you for watching, and again, don't trust what they're saying. Thank you and have a great day.